Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Channel 6 TV Community Focus. Glad you can be with us tonight. We're going to be talking about a little politics tonight. It's November 6th, Tuesday, November 6th. That's the day you get to go out and do your patriotic duty to vote. And if you don't, we're not going to come after you or anything like that. But, at the same time, we're not going to be real happy either, because we're doing our job here at Channel 6. We're doing what we can to introduce you to the candidates and the issues. Your job is to take 15 minutes out of your day on Tuesday, November 6th, and go to the voting booth and choose people running for office, whether it's locally, statewide, or whatever it happens to be at that time. But this year, we're mainly local, and that's what we're going to be talking about today. So I've got Eric Shelburne in here with me today, and Eric is running for 5th District Magistrate for Nelson County Fiscal Court. Eric, first of all, welcome to the show today.
Thank you, sir. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Who's Eric Shelburne?
Well, I've been born and raised here in Nelson County. Okay. After high school, I joined the Armed Forces, joined the Army, became an Air Defense Artillery Scout, went straight to Desert Storm. Came back in '94, worked for just a little while. Then I went into the trade of doing line work. Okay, and I started doing line work with my uncle, and then transferred to a job at the city of Bardstown, worked there for 22 years, and then bought my military time and got the opportunity to retire, not last May, but the May before last.
Yeah.
So we have been over in the 5th District over in Bloomfield, built a house over there a little over 10 years ago, and then we actually built my wife a shop, Sheer Magic, across from the new middle school there about 2 years ago. So we were totally invested in the community, and I've had a little time on my hands, and had been tossed around getting into the local political scene. And I talked when I found out that Jerry Hahn wasn't going to run again. I talked to him, and he encouraged me to run. So here I am. I want to try to represent that community over there I hold so dear in the best way possible.
So you've been in and out of city government for years, so you've seen what government does. It's not like it's something you walking into sight unknown. But city government, county government, there's similarities, there's differences, obviously. But so did it fascinate you all the time, how government worked, or was it just a job?
For me, it was more of a public service. I mean, because of course, I worked with the city council members and the mayor. Sometimes personally, and most of the time, you got your orders from your supervisor, but, sometimes they had specific things they wanted you to do. So, I seen the way the chain of command worked, but for me, it was more of a public service because, what I did was line work. So, we not only, orchestrated hooking up new construction, but we also did a lot of damage and repairs and late hours of the night, so you really get in touch with the community, and you get to meet some happy customers and sometimes not so happy customers. So, but yeah, it was.
I always admired you guys going out in the weather, because they don't call you out in good weather.
No, you're never working when it's nice. That's for sure. That's for sure. But it was a challenging job. I absolutely loved it. And I think I liked the challenge of it. Yeah. So, but now that I've kind of got that behind me, and I'm still doing some electrical work on the side. My uncle's got a little contracting business, and I help him, but we're small, so our work is limited. So, but with her business and stuff, it just seemed like the right thing to do, an extension of my service to continue on and get involved with the political scene.
Well, the folks over in Chaplin, Fairfield, Bloomfield, in that area, what do they think about county government? Do they feel like they're represented over there? Or do they feel like they're a part of the county? I know a lot of times you hear people say, the further you get away from the hub of the Bardstown, that people don't even know we're out here anymore. Do you hear any of that?
Sometimes, sometimes I feel like that, a lot of the people in the 5th District, sometimes they feel a little bit left out. I mean, overall, I think that we've had pretty good management, but sometimes when you ride in different parts of the county, you think, man, how come ours doesn't look this nice and our roads aren't this good? And I think there's a lot of different factors involved with that. But yeah, I mean, overall, it's not a bad thing. I mean, We've had a good magistrate. Jerry Hahn was a good magistrate. I mean, his dedication to service to me is impeccable. I mean, he's been there when he's went through a lot of trouble, and he still serves. So I take my hat off to him for that. But overall, it's not. I don't think they're experiencing bad things. I think there's improvements that can be made.
Yeah.
But I think that overall, everyone seems to be pretty well satisfied. Property values are up and taxes are maintained at a decent level. They're not increasing them, so,
So what do you see as the issues right now, the big issues as far as what's going on in the county? Is there anything, I know growth is always the one everybody mentions, but what do you see as good or bad?
To me, the county as a whole, and not just isolated in the 5th District, I think it's a real positive to see, industry moving into the community, and, that just stimulates growth overall. It's going to create a demand on just about everything. So to me, when you see that, the housing goes up, other services will be needed, and, and that's going to spawn some construction and housing issues. And I mean, you can see coming in the bridge project, that's a big deal, of course, tying in the western bypass is on proposed. So, meeting the needs of the community is something that needs to be, we need to kind of look forward to and plan for. And I think that, the new developmental plans coming out, and I think that that's going to be, interesting to see as we look for new places to put housing and stuff like that.
Well, me and you sit in on a few meetings with planning and zoning, and they always catch a bad rap. I mean, I'm not saying good or bad, but everybody you talk to, planning and zoning, they always want to complain about them. What do you see about planning and zoning? I mean, what's your opinion working with them?
Well, I mean, to be honest with you, I have built, I've had a couple construction projects myself that I've managed and had a big part of in building. And, there's been some bumps in the road with me dealing with planning and zoning, but, I understand that planning and zoning has a purpose. And I think the purpose is overall for the good of the county. They want to, they want to keep property values up, and they want to encourage growth. Sometimes it's kind of tough, when you have a project in your mind, you think, well, just for a quick instance, before we built the shop for my wife's hair business, she was working out of the basement. We had a 12-acre plot, and we had 2 separate tracts of ground there. And initially we thought, well, it'd be a great idea to put me a building over there I can put bucket trucks in when I retire, and her a hair salon. Well, of course, being zoned agricultural, that wasn't going to fly. So
you could haul hay in it.
So that wasn't going to fly, so we ended up buying us a commercial lot in Bloomfield, which really worked out for the best. I mean, we had to spend a little money. We ended up selling, of course, the house and the other acreage there, and so we're living right there where we work at right now. So, I mean, we like it there. It worked out well. But I think it does get a rap, but, they have limited resources, and, they have to tell people no sometimes, and people don't like it, and I understand.
Well, obviously, I think you touched on it earlier, the tax issue. There's not been a big raise in taxes, but the revenue has been getting bigger and bigger every year. You got the occupational tax, you got property values tax, and things of that nature. You say, as far as you're concerned, you think we're pretty healthy right now, financially?
Financially, I mean, I think we are. I mean, to me, with the budget that the county operates off, I think they do a pretty good job managing that. I mean, you've got the sanitation, and it seems like most of the employees are happy. I know, they got a smaller budget than the city of Bardstown, a lot more area to cover. So, I mean, of course, like I said, there's always improvements to be made, but overall, for the budget that they're operating with, it's not too bad.
Yeah. So, a lot of things have went on the last year in the county government. Obviously, the Stephen Foster Drama Association, that's been a thing, saving the drama. And obviously, some people think that's good. Some people are pretty, could go either way on it. And those are issues that you look at as going in and saying, what do you see as your role of a fiscal court person? Do you see your role as community? Do you see your role as representing the 5th District? Do you see your role as maintaining the budget? I mean, I guess it's a pretty general question, but
I think it's a broad stroke. I think it covers all those bases, to be honest with you. I think there's some initiatives that you can kind of push on a little bit that you don't absolutely have control over. And, and there's some issues in the 5th District that needs to be, addressed. And, I've got a lot of ideas and a lot of thoughts on it. And, as far as the county as a whole, just trying to keep up with the growth, maintaining low taxes, and really just meeting the needs of the people and the growth of the community, I think is, the most important thing, and making common sense decisions. I mean, I think that...
Now, if you do that, you'll never go to Frankfurt or Washington, D.C.
It's not a big plan of mine. I'm wanting to represent the 5th District right now.
I just want to let you know down the road.
Yeah, I'm representing the people I love. I'm not too concerned about going to Washington.
I just want to throw that out there.
Yeah, it's so much division there, isn't it? Yeah, I hate the atmosphere. I'll tell you that. But no, it's going to be a challenge. I think I can meet it, and I think I can meet it to the best of my abilities.
So about your time in the Army, I mean, do you see much of that as being, how beneficial you think that is to you as a person, where you come out a different person than you did when you went in?
Well, to me, I mean, it helped me out. Of course, coming out of high school, everybody's got a high school attitude, but of course, prior to that, I was in scouting for years, So, I mean, I just felt like this was the thing for me to do. I thought, I'm going to go, and I mean, Desert Storm was just kicking off, and I thought, and my parents actually had to sign for me to go in early. I mean, I graduated at 17. Of course, you can't really join armed forces till you're 18, but
that really pleased them.
They knew I had an agenda. That probably wasn't their first choice, but it was something that it was important to me, and I was motivated to do it. But I think that going through, the Army helped me out. It made me more motivated. Yeah. Of course, at the time, the logo was "Be All You Can Be." You remember that?
Oh yeah. And I was in the Air Force.
Yeah, I know. So
we had a different logo.
You probably had a different logo. But and I kind of try to apply that to everything in my life. Even when I did line work, I wanted to try to be do the best. Try to show that I could do whatever was put before me, and of course, you're used to hearing no in the military too. So it kind of applies to everyday life. You understand that there's.
You understand the teamwork too, because you're on fiscal court and you are one of 5.
Absolutely.
And are 5 magistrates, you got to learn to get along with each other, and that's sometimes always not easy to do. Yeah,
that's true. I think maybe what might have helped me out more than anything with that is probably dealing with my public service at the city of Bardstown. Because. You don't always get to hear what you want to hear, and you don't always get to tell people what they want to hear. And it can be difficult, but it can be handled in a way that you don't have to be pushy on it. You can kind of, there's a certain way that you can kind of handle things.
All right. Well, is there anything? November 6th is coming up. You're going to be out meeting. I guess you're out knocking doors and shaking hands and kissing babies and all that stuff.
Oh yeah, I've had a real good time doing that. I plan on. Beating feet as soon as I get done with this interview, but I'm having a good time doing it, going out and meeting the folks of the community. Some of the nicest people I've ever met in my entire life live there. So just getting out, and I mean, sometimes I'll come on in, and I'll come in there, and I sat down at a guy's house yesterday and probably sat there and talked for 40 minutes. So
it does sort of knock you real scared.
Yeah, you think, well, I'm just going to hit this real quick and tell him what my thing is, and I'm going to try to serve you the best I can build it, and then we're in there talking about church. So so it's a good deal. I've really enjoyed that. So but it's been fun.
Well, it is. It's interesting. So you got one shot here to say anything to anybody. I mean, obviously, some people you may not be able to reach everybody, but if you got anything that nobody knows about Eric Shelburne, or you'd like for them to know, or just to say hi, I mean, please feel free.
Well, I just, I don't have anything in particular I want to say. I think that, of course, I obviously think I'm the best man for the position, so I would like to just put it out there that, if I'm elected to represent you folks in the 5th District, it's going to be an honor for me. I'll promise you I'll do the best that I can. I've got the time to put into it. I've got the work ethic. I don't think anybody will ever outwork me, so I appreciate them, and I appreciate the folks there, and I appreciate your vote November 6th.
All right, Eric Shelburne running for district, 5th District Magistrate here in Nelson County. I'll get that out in a second. So again, give him a look, and again, the main thing is we're asking of you is not only give him a look, but show up on Election Day. And again, that's Tuesday, November 6th, and we're sort of be pushing that all the way up till that day. Well, Eric, appreciate you taking the time to come in here.
Thanks for having me and letting me get a little bit of my message out there. I've got a million things I could actually talk about, and we may run out of tape before I get.
We might, yeah. We get bored after. Yeah. But if something big comes up, let us know.
Yes, sir. I'll do it.
Stick around. A lot more to come here on Channel 6 TV. We'll be back right after this.